every once in a while I get the spicy Italian, but I mean, that thing, man, every once in a while, man, give you some wicked heartburn. So you had to be careful of that thing.
The salami.
The salami and the mustard. Had the spicy mustard.
I love banana peppers, and for some reason, way back in the day, I used to love Subway's pickles, and I don't always like pickles on a sandwich like that, but their pickles were really good. Now it's like they're like, we make the bread fresh, and I'm like, when? Like a week ago?
Yes, yeah, last week.
I know. In theory, it was fresh at some point.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point. Like at some point, every loaf of bread was fresh.
Right.
At some point.
Exactly. It never seemed good, but the last one
episode 1 of the VR Guest podcast was fresh, like in 2008.
Yeah.
At some point, we were fresh.
We were, yeah.
I'm about to read was fresh in 2014. It won't make any sense to anybody that has any sense, because I just read it and I cracked up. I'm like, this is so stupid because it doesn't make any sense anymore. That's why I'm going to use it.
Right? All right. Well, there we go. Hey, what's Friday's show about? Do we know yet?
We're going to do WDW After Dark. Tips for seeing the party, for going. I couldn't come up with anything unless you guys got something better.
Wait, say it again.
Walt Disney World After Dark. Like tips for exploring the parks, like in that transitional period.
In the
and
evening period.
You got to think about, or if you guys got something better. I tried to think of something creative, because the introvert the introvert extrovert stuff was great. That was fun. We had lots of good conversation on Discord. I couldn't think of anything today. I was just busy and stuff, but
it works.
Cool, because it's extended hours of spring break and summer. People are gonna be in the park.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do questions. Hopefully we get some folks in here. I see folks tuned in on Instagram. Angels Rule 3's over there.
Oh, I guess I should look to see who's chatting.
Rodriguez 08 is over there on Instagram. Got some folks on all the other places. Andrew's here. Hello, Andrew. Got a question about adding a day.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've seen it from whatever road that is the Uber takes me by. It looks interesting. I've never done it though. I'd like to though. They seem to have good food at that place.
Yes. Oh my Lord. Yes.
Hey, Andrew. All right, let's do it. We'll answer that question. All right. Is anybody real quick before we get recording? Has anybody been there?
No. Pam, have you?
Yeah.
I figured you'd been. Yeah.
It's been a while though. They do have good food. I mean, I would go up maybe for the food.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you're really into the attractions, perhaps.
Yeah. It's more of like a Six Flags kind of experience, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Or more like, I would say more like Silver Dollar City. If I had to guess.
This isn't a bad thing. I love Silver Dollar City.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's probably more akin to Silver Dollar City.
Akin?
Yeah.
Akin.
I knew when I said it. I'm like, no, that's not the right word, but I'm just going to go with it. So.
God, why are we not recording? Okay, let me start.
That's your fault.
Dang it.
Way to go, dummy.
Good. Dang it. Okay, here we go. What number is this stupid thing? Here we go. 2663.
At least the people who are watching live get to see it. So
we have left so much gold on the floor. We've got a whole Subway debate. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, you missed it all.
Yeah, dude. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 2663 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. Hope you're having a great week as we continue here through March. And get ready for opening day tomorrow here in the United States for baseball season in the middle of March Madness with basketball. So if you're a sports fan, great time to be enjoying that. But if you're a Disney fan, great time to be thinking about the theme parks. If you're a cruise fan, great time to be thinking about those ships. The podcast cruise, I believe, is right about 100 days from now. I'm getting ready to sail the Disney Magic July 6th. Not that I'm counting that down. Scott and I just keep talking about it all the time. So good time to we're going to answer some listener questions about Disney trips. And Friday, we're going to be talking about Walt Disney World After Dark. Some tips for enjoying the parks in that transitional period from when the sun goes down and what you got to think about to get the most out of the parks in that magical time when the lights come on and the sun goes down. But today, tackling those listener questions, the OG crew, Ricky's joining us from a DisneyWorldAfterAll.com and the Mouse for Less. I forgot my Karnak, but Ricky, I got to get you introduced. What's going on? Let me get my thing ready here. That's all I forgot.
Howdy. It's everything is good. And getting ready to answer some questions. So that part will be nice. I'm excited.
And you know what? Our good friend Len told me that I do this totally wrong. Like the old bit from Johnny Carson, which unless you're watching the video, it really doesn't matter because you don't see it.
Right.
But I blow into the envelope and look, the whole visual thing's totally off on the timing, which I totally know now that he said that I do it wrong. But here I'm going to try to fix that. When he told me that, I didn't sleep that night because I'm like, God, I totally screwed it up all these times. I've been doing it totally wrong. Okay, so pretend I got the big turban on here. So here we go. Okay, so I got the fake envelope. It's actually a card. But here we go. So let's see. So I got the envelope putting up on my head here. Okay, I'm thinking about what it says in here. It says Captain Jack's. Remember this from 2014.
Okay.
Just context. Captain Jack's, The Odyssey, Bonfamille's Cafe, and Tony's Town Square Restaurant.
I was gonna say forgotten restaurants, but Pam, do you have a guess?
It would just be like things that aren't there anymore.
but Tony's is, so that was that's why I was like, that's
all right.
yeah.
Okay, so now I gotta open it.
Now you gotta open it. Yeah, there you go.
It right for Len. Len got me here so I can sleep tonight. Where should I eat at Walt Disney World when I'm not hungry?
Okay, yeah, that also works. Although I will say since 2014, Tony's Town Square has gotten good. I'm not lying. I had a fantastic meal there recently, and I am now singing the praises to Tony's Town Square, which I would not have in 2014 for sure. So don't sleep on Tony's now. Actually, do sleep on it because then it allows me to be able to get a reservation and actually go there. So keep sleeping on it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I like the giant mozzarella stick. It's all good.
I'm not against Tony's either. I think Tony's isn't a place you're going to write home about, but I think it does.
Oh, I wrote a whole blog article about it. So,
yeah, but it could be more, right? I mean, it's got because of its location. I think it could be a superstar. Where I think it's in sports terms, it's a solid starter. Like it's a reliable player. Like it's there to become.
I think at this point, yes, it is reliable. I think back in 2014, it was a bench player.
It's an interesting play, but I mean, it's in Town Square. Every person walks past it multiple times during their Walt Disney World vacation. That location to me, though, should be like top 5 dining destination.
I agree with you. Yeah, especially with the view of the like the parade in the afternoon. You've got a great view of the parade if you ate a late. But the time that you have to eat is such an odd time because obviously it's 3:00. So that's. For some people, that's either a really, really late lunch or a really super early dinner. So I get why that wouldn't appeal to a lot of people. But
almost dinner time for this crowd right here. So anyway, Pam Forrester, I haven't even got her introduced here. She got to jump in. I mean, we've been talking in the pre-show a little Subway sandwiches. We're talking about
we were. And let me just say, Tony has some work to do if he wants it to be a premier dining destination.
I mean, I'll give you that too. Yes.
Oh my gosh, we got great analogies. Pam Forrester, she's calling her the Magic for Less Travel here on a Wednesday, taking care of listener questions. Pam Forrester, what's going in the midweek?
We got that little taste of spring and now it just makes me angry for more. I'm not like, oh, that was great. I'm like, why isn't it like this now? So
agreed.
And our friend Jason says the Kirk Cousins of Walt Disney World restaurants, Magic Kingdom Eateries is Tony's, but Tony's on the forgot the big bonus for we wish it's reliable, kind of moves around, it's there, but it could it gets the job done. It gets the job done. It gets the job done. Could be more. It's okay. All right. So Andrew's got a question. Our good friend Andrew's been with us since 2008. Big friend of the show. Is taking care of our wiki page. All that from back in the day. Andrew asks, would you guys consider adding a day at Knott's Berry Farm to a Disneyland vacation? Which I think is super interesting because, and I'm rocking my Disneyland hoodie today. This is one of my favorite hoodies. There's something about how they made this hoodie, like out of the material. And you see them all the time at Disneyland, these yellow hoodies. And they actually have them at Walt Disney World too, that say Walt Disney World. This thing is the most comfortable hoodie ever. So if you ever see these, I'm just telling you, check them out. It's like the thickness of it. It's just the right thickness. Just saying. There's your fashion advice today from a dude who is the most unfashionable guy in the world. But I love something about this hoodie, man. It's like not too heavy, not too light, just right down the middle. But anyway, what was this question? Andrew says about Knott's Berry Farm. I've driven past this, obviously when I drive whatever road that is, the highway. There's so many highways when you're in the back of an Uber. And, if you're from the Midwest, you're just kind of white knuckling it sometimes with your Uber driver. So you're just like, oh my God, there's a bunch of stuff over there. Yeah. Okay, let's go. And you're excited. But I've seen it. And, I've never stopped there because, again, I'm in an Uber and I'm just excited to get to Disneyland, get on property and do my thing at Disneyland. But I have read that they have lots of good festivals at Knott's Berry Farm and especially lots of good food at Knott's Berry Farm. So if I rented a car, and we did that first trip when I was there for 7 days, where we went up to the Dodgers game and we went to Santa Monica Pier, and Valerie had to see Rodeo Drive, which I wanted to get out of there as fast as I could. So they're gonna dude, you're a fraud, get out of here. We're gonna arrest you. But that'd have been a time that I might have explored it. I mean, if I had a car in a week, I probably might check it out if a festival is going on. Pam, you said you've been there? What was your vibe?
I have. It's been a while, but I have been there. And I think it's like maybe your typical amusement park to some degree. I mean, it's very clean, it's very pretty. They do have some good food, and I also feel like there is so much to see at Disneyland that I probably wouldn't make it a priority unless I had a lot of time. That's just, sort of that. But if you're a big coaster fan and you're looking for like a thrill, some thrill things, you'll be able to get your thrill on there for sure. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. So but Rikki, I might be a little biased.
Oh yeah, I mean, Rikki said it's more akin to like and it is, and Andrew followed up. It is owned by Six Flags now with that Cedar Fair merger, so it's more akin to like that Six Flags, that kind of amusement park thrill ride kind of experience, more than like the Disney experience where you're looking for kind of more of a family experience.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a different kind of theme park experience for sure, but it's still, I would go. I haven't been just because usually I'm headed straight to Disneyland, but I would, if I took a long trip out to California, like I had planned on many years ago, before that got canceled. I would consider adding a Knott's Berry Farms trip into that mix, as well as Universal Studios Hollywood. I would absolutely add that in there too. So I think that it's a good option, especially if you are just in general a theme park fan. If you are not, like I am a general theme park fan overall. Like, yes, of course Disney is my home park and I love it the most out of everything, but I'm still a fan of theme parks overall. So I would absolutely want to see Knott's Berry Farm and see what it was like. And I've heard amazing things about the food, and I'm not sure about boysenberry though. I'm not the biggest. I don't know how much I really want to try that, but I know that they do a lot of good menu items with that. So
you have like the jams in your local grocery stores and stuff like that.
Yeah, they did. It's just a berry jam, Rikki. Yeah. It's nothing to be afraid of.
I don't know. I always remember my mom when we were kids. She would always get a Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity at IHOP, and they had a boysenberry syrup. I'm almost certain they had a boysenberry syrup, and she would always get it. So yeah, I don't know why, but
I'm so old. I used to go to IHOP when it was the big triangle roof.
Oh yeah, for sure. Me too.
Yeah, the one up at Lindbergh and
yeah, of course.
Road.
That's the one I would go to, and she would always get the Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity with the boysenberry. Yeah.
Those were the days. Anyway, those are for all of our Florissant, Missouri listeners back in the day. Yeah. All right, Andrew, so glad to have you here. Thanks for a great question. All right, Cindy's got a question. She's up in Toronto, Canada. Shout out to her daughter as well, who was a guest speaker on our show. Kind of stole the show when she was on a few months ago. Hey, Mike and team, I have a question regarding the dining packages associated with Fantasmic. What locations cater to this event? Of those, which do you recommend? Are they part of the Disney dining plan? Thanks for building community and making it a safe space to ask questions. Sincerely, Cindy V. So, Rikki, what are the locations for the Fantasmic dining packages? I know Mama Melrose is and was one.
It was, and I'm looking it up now, actually.
Be for much longer. I've never done a Fantasmic.
Okay, so it's 50s Primetime, Hollywood and Vine, Mama Melrose, Sci-Fi Dine-In, and Hollywood Brown Derby. Those are the options. There are different prices depending on the different restaurants that you go to, and depending with Hollywood and Vine, you can do it for breakfast. So that's kind of a nice option if you're looking for, I would say cheaper, but that's not the cheapest option. Go figure. Actually the cheapest option it looks like is Sci-Fi. Yeah, interesting. Although it's probably very hard to get, I would imagine, to get the Sci-Fi one.
I wouldn't know. They don't let me in.
I know I don't ever get in there either. So it's surprising that they actually have a dining package for Fantasmic for there. But yes, I believe you can use a Disney dining plan for it. You just have to, book it with that. And you do have to make sure you book the Fantasmic dining package. They have that option online, or when you're booking, or, if you're calling, you just have to ask for the Fantasmic dining package, because you can't just book a, 50s primetime reservation and say, well, wait, I want to do the Fantasmic dining package, because it's two different. Yeah.
It actually shows it on the app, I think.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. You can, it has it's its own designated reservation spot on the app. You just have to look for it, and it says Fantasmic dining package. Right. So they do the same thing with the Eat to the Beat, or the concert series, whatever concert series it is at Epcot too. So that's
how about the other night when that concert was going on? I think it was Herman's Hermits. And
yeah, Peter Noon from Herman's Hermits. Yeah.
Guess what? France was on fire.
Hey, look.
Dude, fire. Yeah, I gotta give him credit, man. Those pictures that first started coming out, it looked like Epcot was gonna burn down, and it was out like in 15 minutes. I was like, this isn't good. And then all of a sudden, like, nothing to see here. Everything's under control. I'm like, kudos to the fire folks, man. They got that thing. I was like, holy smokes. Like, I was worried for a few minutes, because that was thick black smoke. And
it was.
Back there. I was like, that's not good. And it was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like Epcot's gonna be closed for me, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, they're gonna close Epcot for a week or something.
Nope.
And it was like an hour later, like, it's all good. Come right around. I don't think shut down Ratatouille, but for like an hour, I was like, holy smoke, that was fast. I couldn't believe it. That was unbelievable. I don't know what happened. Kim said there was like a break area back there, and
I think it was a cooler that caught on fire.
Oh,
my understanding. Yeah.
Whoever did it, man, they need to, hopefully they get docked. That was just nuts. Okay. By the way, I gotta ask you this, because I saw this in the news, and I think Disney's gonna is gonna see this in the news. They're gonna take over. Just real quick, did you see that you can now get a loan for your DoorDash? You can break your DoorDash order into 4 monthly installments. Yeah. You didn't see that in the news?
No.
Yes. So DoorDash has partnered with this Australian loan company to where, and I am not kidding, this is honest to God truth. You can just Google it. That they've gone to this finance company where you can now break your DoorDash order into 4 monthly or 4 installments, so you don't have to pay it all at once, so you can finance your DoorDash payment. So before Disney says, would you like to take your Lightning Lane purchase and break this down into 4 monthly payments? No, they won't do that. But I just saw that. If you're door dashing, like, can you imagine that? I saw that and I just couldn't believe it.
No, just all kinds of no on that. No.
Yeah. Okay.
I agree.
I was just like, yeah, but I couldn't believe it.
What's going on in your life?
That's a question. And we need the question though. That's not how this works. Oh wait, maybe it's coming.
Nope, that's not it.
Not it either. Okay, well, let's get to Holly here in the inbox. She actually put text, but Matt will come back. See, hey guys, we love your podcast. Thanks for all of your top tips. We're traveling to Disney World from Liverpool in the UK in August of 2026. Planning very early, I know, but these trips from the UK are expensive. We'll be staying for 3 weeks at Port Orleans French Quarter. We have a plan of action for early entry during our last trip, but I have seen information suggesting the Magic Kingdom will no longer be holding guests at the hub, but you'll be able to go into the lands. Would this change your approach to how to best maximize that early time? Also, just wondering in general what your ultimate early entry strategy would be at the Magic Kingdom. Thank you. Only 495 days to wait for our trip. Holly. See, I like the way Holly thinks here, right? Her trip is in August of 2026, and she's literally concerned with maybe 200 yards.
I know, and it may change 8 times.
That was exactly
between
what I was
now and
thinking.
then.
Yeah,
This
it may
is something
change.
that just popped
I
up
love this.
recently.
I know it could change it. You're exactly right. It could change 8 times between now and August of 2026.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
that's why we have a podcast, right? And that's why we're all just crazy Disney fans, because this is what gets us.
For sure.
What gets us to August of 2026 is thinking about all the minute details and all this stuff. But literally, if the difference between the hub and like being held at, you know, the launching pad is like 200 yards.
Yeah,
It's fun to think about. So Rikki, how would that change your strategy of like everybody's kind of, you know, stuck on Main Street or the hub or being put into the lands and being, you know, roped off there? What do you think?
Well, first of all, what's rope drop? Second of all, because I don't see it.
That's true. Pretend like
yeah.
you
Pretend like I get up in the morning. It's fine. You know, the only thing that it might do is it may disperse the crowds a little bit more, but it's only Tomorrowland that's opening, right? So as of right now. So I mean, the crowds are gonna either go into Tomorrowland or I guess stay on Main Street to wait out that until the other lands open. So I mean, they're not actually opening the attractions early. They're just letting you in, you know, a little bit early so you can get, I guess, a little closer. I mean, it might shave off maybe 5-10 minutes of your trip. I'm not entirely sure of your day, but I mean, those 5-10 minutes are definitely important. So I mean, if you're gonna go anytime that they have the Tomorrowland, you know, option available to you, I mean, and you want to ride Space Mountain or, you know, Tron or something in Tomorrowland, I mean, sure, head on over there. Go get, you know, if you're going to be there for early, you know, rope drop anyway, get there maybe, you know, extra 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early and head that direction. That's what I'd say. So,
I mean, my best tip for rope drop, and I do rope drop, right? It's just if you're going to go, you got to go all in is what I say, because the difference between like being at the back of the rope drop crowd or the front of the rope drop crowd is significant. And you're already going to be up early. You're already going to be sacrificing sleep in the morning. So just bite the bullet and, you know, give up that extra 30 minutes of sleep and be in the front of the rope droppers. So whatever land you choose, say Adventureland, they're going to let you go that way in 20, you know, whatever it is, or if they're going to let you go to Fantasyland and hold you right before Fantasyland or Tomorrowland, what have you. Just be in front of that group so that you can be in the front of the wave, because I've always said this, if you're in the front of the wave at rope drop, you stay in front of the wave for like the first 2 or 3 hours, as long as you don't make a silly mistake like sit down and have a pretzel after the first attraction or something like that. Then everybody catches up with you, right? You gotta kind of, when you're doing this, when you go out the door, you want to have like a Pop-Tart or something on the bus. You want to have enough of like nutrition so that you can power through like a couple of hours to get to like 10 or 10:30. Then maybe, you know, I say like go to Ohana or something over at, you know, the Polynesian, and then have like a late, you know, like brunch, you know, and really kind of fill up. But like take advantage of that rope drop time, but be in the front of the crowd and you're way ahead of the crowd. That's my Pam. Anything you'd add to that? That's what I say.
I just I don't know that we're going to continue to see this or not. And if it does, I don't know. You are able to get into line earlier because of that. But it wouldn't change the way I would do things. I would still do things probably about the same for that. But like Mike said, you just got to start beating the crowd. Like you just have to get there. And
you're in the back of the rope drop crowd, you're fighting an uphill battle even then, you know, a little bit. But if you're in front, it's so nice. It's so nice.
It is.
All right, Katie's got a question here, and she says we are booking an Alaska cruise for August of 26, thanks to Jocelyn over at the Magic for Less. We are having a hard time deciding if we need a veranda. Pam, is it a non-negotiable for Alaska? Price is a factor, but willing to splurge if you think it's necessary. Do I need to continue this? Okay, I will. Anything else to know about booking Alaska on DCL? Pam
already has her answer. It's already done.
You know, so I will say Alaska, probably that inside passage is more is one of the reasons that I would get a veranda for sure. And just I will say the beauty of being able to see the landscape from your room is really impactful, especially And you might think, oh, we can just go up on deck. You can sometimes. I will say there were a few times during our last Alaska cruise that the on deck was rainy and really cold, and it would have just been, and it was early too when we were going through certain parts and getting near the glacier. So I just feel like it is. I don't want to say a non-negotiable, because more than anything else, I want you to go and see Alaska because it's worth it. But if you can possibly swing it, look at getting a veranda. There's just something about being able to see that from your room. And I will say some of my favorite photos as I look back on our Alaska photos are from our room. Just being able to sit out there and watch it go by. You just go, you're just floating, and like there's a mountain in front of you. Like it's really incredible. Alaska is just really such an incredible place.
I just have to say, my guests, and I book a lot of guests in Disney Cruise Line, when they come back from Alaska, they always say they want to do it again. I mean, almost to a person. And it surprises me, right? Because you'd think it'd be always the tropical locations, but it's always Alaska.
Yeah, agreed. And you know what it is? I think about this all the time. So we've done it a couple times, and I think one of it is there is something really awesome about going someplace in the summer that isn't hot as Hades.
That's true.
I mean, there just is. There just really, truly, truly is. So, but no, it's just such a great place. Just such a great place. So,
all right, we got a question from somebody that I know well, but I haven't seen in ages. But actually, I thought about him just this morning. It's Dr. Kevin McLean from Speaking of Florissant, Missouri.
Do I want to know why you were thinking about Kevin?
Because I went to bend over to put on my shoes.
Oh, that explains it. Okay.
Almost went out this morning when I was getting ready to get on the treadmill. I was like, oh, it almost locked up. And Kevin he's my chiropractor that saved me back in the day when I couldn't even teach. I had to go across the hall, across from where I taught. His office was on the other side of Lindbergh there for my school. He saved me. He got me going again. He says, I'd like your opinion on the new Monsters Inc. ride concept. I actually suggested that to my wife a couple years ago. You know what? When I saw the movie, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but toot. When I saw that, there's a couple times in movies I've said that needs to be a ride. Like it's on the theater. I was like, dude, they're riding on there's a track and they're hanging onto a door. Come on, that's not a roller coaster. Like I said that.
Everyone, I feel like, said that. Yeah.
I said not a ride. I've said that about a couple things I've seen in movies, but yeah. So I mean, I think it's pretty, and the ride concept looks pretty sweet too. And I think they pull it off. But I mean, it looks like they're doing it right. I mean, it's for sure. I mean,
yeah. The way that they showed how those ride vehicles are going to go up in the air and then take off is, I mean, it's bonkers, but it's amazing. Like there are, so many, like, I think there were 3 tracks on each side. And so there's like, I think 6 total is what I saw. And I'm like, oh my goodness, the engineering to pull this feet off is going to be incredible, but it's going to be so fantastic. And let's put it this way. If the takeoff is impressive to me, I can only imagine how the actual attraction is going to be. So, yeah, again, I, like you, Mike, said, this should have been something that they did years ago. Actually, years ago, there was concept art and stuff that got released. And then Disney quickly took it away, and it was a big oopsie. And if you've been in the Disney community long enough, you will remember that moment. I have been in the Disney community long enough, and I remember that moment very clearly. So we thought we were getting it. It was like 2006, 2008, somewhere in that time frame. And it took another 20 years for us to be able to get this attraction that we've all been begging for. So yeah, I'm super stoked that we're fine. I mean, yes, I'm sad that we are losing the Muppet Courtyard and Muppets and everything like that, but I am so excited that I finally get to get on that door coaster that I've been dying to get on since 2003.
My wish, I was thinking about this the other night. Like, what do I wish for Walt Disney World? Like for the next, like for a new CEO to come in and focus on theme parks, like an Eisner. Like if they would just come in and say, my focus is to keep continuing to improve the theme parks, because they are building a lot of new stuff, right? They are. I mean, they're focusing on that. But if they would just say, we're going to add without taking away. Like, oh my gosh, it would be like the music in everybody's ears if they could do that.
Yeah.
You know, to add without replacing. Like instead of replacing, like just add. Just
Right.
add. You know what I'm saying? Like, find ways just to add. That'd be amazing. Like that would be so much goodwill for everybody if there was a way to do that. I don't know if there is, but if there was, that'd be such a great thing, because if we could have Muppets and this, that'd be a win-win. And it would just spread people out more too. But back to that though, this is something I was thinking about the other night when I was sitting around. But the thing I liked about what I read in the concept art about that too was that they said that you're going to be able to see like the other trains and the other people inside the attraction and like the chaos of the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
make it fun, right? I mean, you'll be hearing other people screaming and like wow, but I mean that's what the movie was like. That's the scene. Pam, I mean, what'd you think about that? That's one of the things I got excited about is you'll see the other cars and the other trains.
Yeah, and I think every time I hear about an attraction that I feel like more guests will connect with, I'm excited. I feel like I'm so very glad that we're keeping the Muppets and they're going to be part of Rock and Roller Coaster. I think that's really cool. I think what happened to that whole Muppet Courtyard thing is that there was one attraction and it has needed redone for a long time. And I think there were just opportunities to infuse them into other attractions that they are essential to the park. I mean, if we lost Rock and Roller Coaster or whatever the incarnation of whatever this will be, that would be a huge blow. And this probably not so much. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. And I'm just looking forward to that whole concept. I think Toy Story Land's awesomely popular for many different reasons. And I think there's a whole opportunity for Monsters, Inc. to do the same thing. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right. We got a question from Zeebs over in the Discord. Matt Z says, taking a 3-night trip in November, currently booked at Port Orleans Riverside, but debating on switching to Caribbean Beach Resort. I do plan on visiting Epcot, so the Skyliner would be nice, but I also want to do the boat to Disney Springs. What do you think I should do? Stay at Riverside or switch to Caribbean Beach? Any other pros or cons? Also going to Animal Kingdom. Can't have it all.
You can't.
Pros and cons. That's exactly it. I mean, you're gonna get the Skyliner is gonna get you to Epcot so easy from Caribbean Beach. Remember, Caribbean Beach, you're gonna have the option to dine over at the Riviera. So that's nice because I do like Primo Piatto for that quick service option over there. It's very easy to get to. And you got, good dining over there. I prefer the rooms at Riverside, probably. Yeah, they're probably a wash, I'd say. Maybe it's a wash. They're probably about the same. I'm trying to think.
Riverside, you have the sister resort of French Quarter. Yeah. So you essentially have all the pools at Riverside, including the main pool. And then there's a number of quiet pools. And then you also have the pool over at French Quarter as well. And you have that food court as well. You know what I mean? Because you're within walking distance, that will be an easy one to go to as well. I'd say location, they're fairly the same, with I wouldn't put one over another for location.
I mean, so I would look and say, like, you're going to go to Epcot more, like you're going to Epcot 3 times, Disney Springs once, and which theme kind of hits you more? Because I'd say it's kind of 50-50 on this. I can't come up with one or the other.
Agreed.
What do you say? I'd go with just what I mean. If he's at Riverside, you picked it for a reason first. I might just stick with it.
I think that's what I would do too. I would just stick with Riverside. Taking the bus is fun. So like, there's nothing wrong with the bus. I love taking a Disney bus. There's just something about it. So I don't think you're losing out. And if you really want to go on the Skyliner, take a trip along, take a loop around the Skyliner. I feel like that would be a good compromise in that regard. But I mean, I don't think you have a wrong choice here either. But I might stick with Port Orleans just because I'm already there.
All right. I think we have one last question, and actually it says for listener questions, although not actually a questions. Hey, Mike, Diana from Connecticut here. I've called in a couple of times and did a trip report once. I listen to you every week. I never miss a show. Listening to your podcast is truly such a joy in my life. Thanks for all you do. Thank you so much. I just wanted to write to share a little Disney story with you and the Be Our Guest podcast crew and community. On January 1st of this year, my mom sent me a reel by Disney Food Blog on Instagram titled, "Which Disney Resort Are You Staying At in 2025?" The reel scrolls through each of the Walt Disney World resorts at lightning speed, and you have to pause your screen to reveal your answer. My mom's comment along with this video reel was, "I got Coronado Springs." So, of course, I tried my luck, and would you believe I landed on Coronado Springs as well? I responded, "I got Coronado. What are the chances?" To which my mom replied, "Must be a sign." So, as any true Walt Disney World fan would do, we packed our bags and we flew to the most magical place on earth. We planned and executed a lightning trip to Walt Disney World, leaving on a flight on Friday, February 28th, and returned back home on Sunday, March 2nd. Some would say we're crazy for doing this. It's not exactly a stone's throw from us, but we didn't think it was crazy at all. When you both land on Coronado Springs, you make that trip happen. We had dinner at Toledo upon arrival. It was an outstanding meal and time, and spent the day on Saturday visiting all 4 parks. That was a first for me, and hats off to my mom for powering through, which is not exactly an easy feat considering her hip gives her a hard time, but it was so worth it. We picked our top 2 to 3 things at each park, ate at Sci-Fi for lunch, and Crêperie de Paris, look at that, I got it, for dinner, rode buses, the monorail and Skyliner, and finished off the day with Fantasmic. Something I thought was so cool and was not lost on me was that the very next weekend I saw that you had spent some time there with your own dad, Mike, and I thought to myself how lucky we are that we're able to share these moments with the people we love most. I'm sharing all this because as much as we love Disney World, I know that it is truly extra special when we share it with those who mean the most to us. I've had some personal things going on in my life that have been really challenging, but being in Disney World with my mom for a short weekend was a chance to hit the pause button on all that noise and enjoy the moment to the fullest, making memories I'll have forever. Although I've been fortunate enough to visit Walt Disney World many times before, this is a trip that I'll always remember as extra special, and it really meant so very much to me. Anyway, it didn't mean so much for this email to be lengthy, but I felt like this was a story I wanted to share with the podcast community and especially with you. Thanks for all the joy you bring us and keep spreading the magic, Diana. So how cool is that, though, that you got to go down? I mean, it's like, and I've seen those things, they have them like with the sports reels and, got to hit pause and see, what's your favorite team or whatever. But, I'm glad that Diana took the time to write this, because when I read it, I'm like, that is super cool, because what it is that, this silly Disney fandom, we're talking about a trip in August of 2026, that the logistics of that, like Pam said, could change 19 times between here and there, is how the Magic Kingdom does rope drop. But what it does in the big picture is it brings people together. Scott and I talk about things that change. We talk about every little news nugget about it. Us 3, all 4 of us talk about it. And we talk about it as a community. And what it gives us is a chance to come together and talk about something we love. And when you get to travel to Walt Disney World or cruise together or what have you, go to Disneyland together, you make memories that you'll talk about, on the trip. You have a great time together. But then what happens is if you go on the trip in July, that Thanksgiving, when you're sitting around the table eating the turkey, inevitably you're going to bring up 5 crazy stories from that trip and laugh about it. Remember when, oh my gosh, we couldn't get into Sci-Fi because they kicked us out because they blah, 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 wouldn't listen. You have those memories forever. So Pam, I love hearing stories like this. Diana and her mom just hopping up and 4 parks in a day, Coronado, Sci-Fi. I mean, that's what it's all about, really. I mean, that's what it all boils down to.
I think, every now and then the universe sort of sends you something that prods you into maybe making an extra trip or extending the one you have planned or taking advantage of something like this. And every time people are like, oh gosh, you're going again. I think, yeah, I have something I'm looking forward to for each trip. I mean, these are the things that I never regret spending money on. They just, travel is I never come home and say, oh, dang, I wish I hadn't spent money on that. Never. I just never do. I can do a lot of things. I can do without a lot of things, but it's these kind of trips that I can't. It's the memories are way too important. So I'm so glad she shared it too. It's a great memory for all of us.
Thank you so much for that, because I can just kind of picture it all happening, like, oh, bags packed, landed at Coronado, pulling up a Grandestino up at Toledo, having a dinner, and doing it up. I mean, Rikki, you had the same thing, but I mean, like when I was there with my dad, he was not theme park dude, but I mean, I got to ride the Skyliner with him, the monorail. Dude, he loved Beaches and Cream, and lucky enough, we got to sit at the counter, and he had the seat right next to the jukebox.
I've had that seat.
For it. I know, but I mean, how lucky was it that we got those seats? Like, dude,
that's good.
Heaven. I mean,
I'm sure he was. Yeah.
Penny loafers. I mean, dude, 6 miles that day in penny loafers. I almost killed them. I know.
That's all right. Yeah. That's all right.
It's a good thing.
It is. Yeah, it's fine. No, I mean, those memories that you have, I think with, those family members that are, they like you said, they're the ones that are gonna live with you forever. I still am so thankful that we got to take my grandmother before she passed away. I mean, literally weeks before she passed away. The memories I had. I mean, there are pictures on my in my hallway, and they're from that trip of my grandma. She's sitting there in her wheelchair holding a beer because she wanted a beer at the Magic Kingdom. And at that time, we were like, Grandma, the Magic Kingdom doesn't sell beer. So then we went to Epcot and got her a beer. She had to have a Bud Light. We found her a Bud Light. Like that, but there's those things. There's, and sitting there watching Carousel of Progress with her and knowing that she lived through a lot of it, and got to experience that, and talking to her about it, and watching her play Buzz Lightyear with such intensity, like those are the things that like live with me, and they're the memories that I carry on forever. Getting to take Lucy for the first time with my whole entire family, and granted that trip didn't necessarily go the way I hoped it would, but the trip that was a whole other thing. But the trip, the parts that were great were the parts that I will cherish forever. Taking Lucy on It's a Small World for the first time with my family surrounding me at the Magic Kingdom. Like, that was a dream I'd always had. Like, getting to take my daughter with my entire family, that was the dream. And then going to Chef Mickey's, where we Brian and I got engaged, and we got to take our daughter to the same restaurant, which was so cool to me, to be able to do that. And then I have another trip that really sticks out to me that I'm so thankful that I have is, and this was really early on in my Disney obsession. It was back in 2003, and I was really just getting started with the whole Disney obsession. And my dad and I were actually photographing a wedding in Fort Myers, Florida, and he screwed up, and he accidentally he booked the wrong day. We thought we were flying back on I guess it was a Saturday, or Sunday, but we were actually flying back on a Monday. And so when he figured that out, we had a whole extra day to we didn't have anything to do. So we drove up to, the Magic Kingdom. We bought a 1-day ticket, and I got to take my dad to the Magic Kingdom, and he got to see, the start of my love of my, so those are the things that live with me, those kind of memories. So those memories that you get to take with your family, and really, and even friends. I mean, obviously I have such great memories with all of you, and, other people that have come into my life because of the podcast, but those are the things that stick with me. Those are, like Pam said, those are the reasons I go back. I go back to have those memories, those encounters, those experiences. And that's what I do it for. And, to do something different every time too. But, that's what I go back for. So I get it. I'm so glad she had that trip with her mom, though. That's what it's all about. I'm not going to lie. That's what it's all about.
100%. Take that trip with the loved ones, though, man. It is fun. I mean,
you'll never regret it. Just like, just like Pam said. So.
Yeah. To be just sitting down at a meal. Like you said, Olivia's was the best meal he had in a year. And I mean, my dad does all these NFL, meals with the teams and stuff. And I mean, they go to fancy places, but he's like me, the just basic. I tell him it's like a fancy Cracker Barrel, kind of. That's why it's how I describe. He's like, "Where are we going?" I'm like, "Trust me, you like it. It's got good chicken." And so we're like very much. Anyway, We are going to get out of here. And if you have a question, though, drop it into the inbox. Boom. It'll be on the show. Mike at BRGuestPodcast.com. Just put listener question in the header. And right there, we'll get it on the air for you. Also, drop by Monday afternoons. We record the show around 5:30 Eastern-ish. And you can just subscribe to the show right there on YouTube, the channel. It's the BR Guest Podcast on YouTube or Facebook. You'll get a notification when we go live. And you can join in on the fun. It's always fun to join us live because, you never know. We'll talk about in the pre-show. Subway sometimes, and who knows, all kinds of stuff. So come on over. We love having you here, but don't forget our podcast is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. We'd love to help you get to your favorite Disney destination, whether it's Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, even Adventures by Disney. And the best part, no additional cost to you, first class concierge level service each and every time. Check out all the details today over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online. That one extra click supports everything we do throughout the year. It's brguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you so very much to our Patreon supporters. You're our all-stars. You make all this happen. You can support us as well for just $5 a month. And for that support, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. It's a fun show. Coming over this week, we'd love to have you. Patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. You can give us all a follow on the socials. I'm at BR Guest Mike. Ricky's at Ricky Nibs. Pam's at TMFLT Pam. That's Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. And of course, join us in the BR Guest Podcast Clubhouse. It's free. It's open for everybody. It's so much fun. We hang out there all the time. Check us out at brguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. And finally, the live call-in show. We called Scott in Hawaii last Sunday night. He was at a place called Duke's. And he was getting served the most awesome dessert in the world during the call. I almost had to hang up on the guy because then he texted me how good the dessert looked. It was like a mini baked Alaska. Oh my gosh, he's living the best life. But I mean, we take your calls, you call in, we talk about anything you want. It's the open line. So join us Sunday night, 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or Twitch, wherever you want to join us. That's where we'll be. Give us a call and let's talk Disney Sunday night. Be there. All right, we'll be back again on Friday talking Disney After Dark. It's going to be fun. So for Pam and Rikki, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Somebody's got a rattling mic again, like sitting rolling. It's on your desk. I think it's Rikki because it happened when you came in. I think.
I'm not touching my desk, so.
Somebody's got one. Can you check? It's when you're typing, I think.
I haven't been typing.
I haven't been typing either. No typing.
I have not touched my computer desk, like at all.
Well, somebody's mic's rattling. Like the bass is making noise.
Is it still?
It was during the show.
Okay. Well.
I have.
It's that like low rumble, like the bass is hitting somebody's bass is hitting their desk.
I don't know what to tell you. I'm not.
I hear it drives me nuts.
I'm not.
I can't.
I'm not touching anything, Mike. Like I'm not.
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just like it drives me.
No, I know. I'm just like I don't know what it's from. I have the same thing under my mic from before.
It's not doing it.
I hear Fixer Upper downstairs. So
no, I don't hear it now.
Lucy adores Fixer Upper. I don't know what it is.
Like the show?
No, no. The song from Frozen.
Oh.
She adores that song. I don't know why.
A bit of a Fixer Upper.
I always thought it was an underrated song. I never thought it was a great song until I went on the Disney cruise, and then we saw the Frozen show, and then I was like, oh, that's actually a really catchy song. And then Brian, I guess he also thought it was catchy, so he started showing it to her, and now like she adores it. So.
Do you hear it? Like
No, I don't now. Hang on. I'm looking. That's a pretty good one. Okay, I was looking at a Karnak. Okay. It was just it rumbles, and like these headphones are real sensitive, and I just like, or it's like you probably don't hear it when I put the music under it, so it's fine.
I can't. I mean, I'm not like there's no typing, there's no nothing.
Touch your desk. Yes, that's not it. Touch your desk, Rikki. It's Ricky's. It's that. It's Rikki. It's you.
I'm not touching my desk.
But that's it's coming from you. That's the sound.
I mean, I'm not even.
There's like a thunking kind of sound.
My microphone is not even on my desk.
But it's picking up some kind of a vibration or something.
The spirits have sensed a vibration.
I don't know what you want me to do. I'm not touching it. So like I can move it further away.
No, you don't want it further away. You want it closer to you. You always want the
I can't. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm not touching my desk. And so I don't know what to tell you. Like I'm not touching it.
Causing it to vibrate or something. It's like
I'm not even like, if you could see, I'm not even touching this.
That could be your phone. Is your phone like getting text messages or something?
No.
Okay. Because it could be your phone's on vibrate. It's like,
no.
Okay. Just don't
I'm not touching it.
Move or put like a towel or something under it to deaden it, like the stand.
I can't. It's on my. It's like it's not on a stand. It's on an arm.
It's on like a boom like this.
Yeah.
Nice. That's why this is up in the air, so it can't pick up vibrations.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, that's fine. Let's do this. It drives me freaking crazy. It's like, Arr! You'll see me if it does it again. Watch, my eyes will like bug. There we go. 2666. Nope, 2665. Here we go. I'm a bit of a fixer-upper.
That's why when I was researching what I was researching, I didn't even touch my computer. I was researching it on my phone so I wouldn't make any noise. Like that's the thing.
Thank you. All right, here we go. Here we go. Welcome to episode 2665 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. Yes, we've made it to the weekend. Hallelujah. I think we all needed this one. March Madness is back, Sweet 16 weekend. So hopefully your brackets have made it partially through to this weekend and you can enjoy some basketball. Baseball season back, the first weekend of the baseball season. So we got that. And we've got fun Disney talk. We're going to talk Walt Disney World after dark, how to enjoy those extended evening hours, not just the deluxe hours. We're not just talking about the fancy smancy deluxe hours. We're talking about the just when it gets dark at Walt Disney World, how to enjoy time at your resort, how to enjoy time at the theme parks, how the whole vibe changes when it's dark at Walt Disney World. So we're gonna have some fun there because the parks stay open a little bit later. It's spring break in the summer. So let's do that. Joining me today, the OG crew again. And yeah, Ricky's got a song stuck in my head, the Fixer Upper song, because we talked about it between the shows, and it's going to be just the Frozen song, a little bit of a Fixer Upper. That's all I'll be thinking about for the next 35 minutes and probably the next 35 days. Rikki, thank you from DisneyWorldAfterAll.com and TheMouseForLess.com. Happy Friday, Rikki. What's up?
Happy Friday, and don't worry, it's all I can hear right now downstairs. So you're all good. Yeah, we have a loop in our house and this is really all Florence's fault. So she started Lucy on Encanto, and she started her, on the opening song, the Family Madrigal, and then we'd start getting the next song, in the pipeline, and it was another Encanto song, and then the next one was another Encanto song, and now the loop has started going a little bit further out, to other songs. So a lot of times we'll get Moana, and of course we'll get a lot of Frozen. And so one of the songs that has come up, partially, I believe, due to my husband and our Disney cruise, was Fixer Upper. And so, yeah, that's like on repeat. And Lucy adores Fixer Upper. So, absolutely, she starts dancing around. She stands up real close to the TV. And yeah, she adores Fixer Upper. So, I don't know. I guess she's looking to get married. I don't know.
I think that's kind of what all the husbands kind of think we are. We're a bit of a fixer-upper, but our better halves have kind of fixed us up.
We do. We fixed you up real nice. I mean, I fixed up Brian real good, so we're good.
Pam kind of took me, it's like a dull penny and kind of shined me up a little bit. That's
exactly.
how I can look at it.
That's how it is. I shine Brian up real nice.
Yeah, a little bit. That's we're all kind of little fixer uppers, and
It
that's why we should.
It reminds me of the episode of The Big Bang Theory where Bernadette's, they're talking about how what a mess up Howard was, and she's like, "That's me. I did that," and I'm like, "Yep, that's me. I did that."
I mean, I wouldn't want to think about where I'd be in life without Pam. Pam Forster.
Whoa.
I mean, thank God that I've been able to work with the Magic for Less forever. But I mean, without my
That's
wife,
a nice segue, but yeah,
I got a double Pam thing going on here because without these two, I'd be really in big trouble in my life.
You would.
Yes, it takes two Pams.
That's right. I mean, I'm not kidding. That's true. Pam is a big deal in my life. All right, I gotta get myself out of trouble here. Pam Forster, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Yes, I am blushing here on the stream. What's up, Pam Forster?
Too funny. Oh my gosh. Yes. I know. Why am I blanking on the Fixer Upper song? Like, I've seen this.
It's the one with the trolls?
The rocks, right? The
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Rocks turn into like little dancing things. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Yes. The Fixer Upper song.
And they're trying to marry Kristoff and Anna together. And then he's like, wait,
Yes.
no, she's engaged to someone else. And they're
Right.
like, well, I don't see no ring. So,
Yeah, look at this. Mike's giving movie advice.
Yeah, I know. Who would have thought? Have you seen Frozen?
I have.
Okay.
Again, let me the backstory here. That came out on my birthday on November 27th. We went to the theater to see it. And remember, we went to see this, and it's a story of two sisters, right? And Mallory was super little. And we went to see it with Paige and Mallory.
That's right. Okay.
And he just stole my heart because it's just, I'm like, we left the theater and I told Pam, I'm like, dude, if we get offed, like you and I, like if we ever go on a cruise and like the boat sinks and it's just you and I hope those two stick together like Anna and Elsa, because like in every Disney movie, the parents get offed. So I'm like, I hope if we get offed, like they rally and they take over the world together. Now I hope that like the whole thing with the brain and all that, and she gets knocked in the head and all that, they have to go through all that stuff, but that's kind of bad. But I'm like, I hope they rally together and become just like inseparable. And, because like, the parents always have to go in a Disney movie, which is sad, but in the end, it all turned out good.
Yeah.
Do you have those kind of conversations? Like, I mean, because like as a parent, you just know like it's not going to end well for you.
Well, nobody gets out alive, as they say. So,
like your whole, like in life, like in your Disney, like if you watch a Disney movie as a kid, you're like, oh, everything's cool. You're going to be on a flying elephant. You're going to, you're going to have like a big monkey is going to be your friend, a big ape.
Yes.
Live in the jungle, or what have you. You got all these great, fantastic things going to happen in your life, and then when you become a parent, you're like, oh man, I'm in trouble.
I know, right? Now you're wishing for a cool sidekick for your child to help be their conscience, right? I mean, to help guide them in the right direction. No. Yes, I mean, I think you can't help but think all these things when you're watching a Disney movie. Like, could this happen? Sure. Yes, it could. So, anyways, yes.
Why do we think about these things? But we do. And hope other Disney. I mean, I know other parents are out there. Hopefully you're maybe going for a run today. Maybe you're riding in the car doing carpool. I don't know. But as a parent, you're thinking the same thing. You're like, man, this is not good. But as a kid, you're just like, fancy free. But I mean, also like in Toy Story, they bring it to the reality like, oh man, gotta get rid of my toys. What? Dude, wow.
Life lessons.
When the kid goes away to college.
If I told you how many toys I still have from childhood, matter of fact, Lucy's downstairs playing with them right now. No joke. Like there are toys that are downstairs for her that were mine, and she's playing with them. So we're all good.
Okay, I'm just telling you real quick because we gotta get on because I got a Karnak I want to do because it's really good.
Yeah, that's right.
Then we actually gotta get to the content. But when that Toy Story movie came out where Andy goes away to college, and you have a kid that's the same age, away to college, dude, Disney or Pixar, whoever put that movie wrecks you. I mean, they may as well have just brought like a 20-pound like boxing glove into the theater and just right in my gut. I mean, and I'm like, I paid money for that. Like, dude, they just jacked me right in the gut. I'm like, Pam. That couldn't have hurt worse. I'm like, and I just paid good money for that. Like, dude, I bought popcorn. We smuggled in peanut M&Ms from Walgreens. I mean, I know it was illegal, but dude, I mean, that hurts so bad because Paige was getting ready to go to Mizzou and like leaving us. And then Andy like drops off the toys. I'm like, dude, stop. I can't take all this trauma. Disney movies a lot of times are traumatic. You got to be careful with Disney movies.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my God. I've never seen Old Yeller. I'm not watching that. Never. That's a Disney movie, right? I'm never watching that movie. No. Real quick. Now, have you ever seen Where the Red Fern Grows? This is, I don't even know if that's a Disney movie, but you know the book.
It isn't, and I remember the book, but I don't know if I read it.
Okay. So when I taught sixth grade, we had a Basil, right? And a Basil is like a collection of short stories. Like, so we'd read like a good chunk of like novels, and so like you do one a week for the school year. And like on Friday, so you'd read it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and on Friday we'd take a quiz for comprehension. And so on Fridays, what I do is if there was a movie, I'd show the movie on Fridays so I could grade the quizzes and give them back to the kids to take home on the weekends. And so on Fridays, I'd show the movie, right? So I show, I can't believe I told this story, but we got to get to the story. But anyway, this is like a Mike in the Midwest mini episode. So we read the story on, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but it doesn't tell the whole story, right? So you don't know the dogs die. In the book,
that would be a book I would have remembered. I did not read that book, probably for that reason. Yeah,
the section we read in class did not get to the part where the dogs die, because the one dog dies, right? But the second dog, like the sister dog, like dies of depression, like on the other dog's grave, right? Okay, but nobody tells you this. So I show the movie on Friday, right? On a Friday afternoon is like a celebration for like, we had a good week. I'll show you the movie, right? So I can grade.
That is not a celebration.
I didn't know my first year teaching, I didn't know because I just want to show the movie so I can grade papers, right?
Oops.
So it's like a Friday afternoon in sixth grade. Pam's teaching next door, right? I'm teaching in my class. She's next door. I'm grading away like spelling papers, grammar quizzes, the comprehension tests. I'm grading as fast as I can in the back of the room so I can fill out these Friday folders so I can take them home, get them signed, and bring them back on Monday. Dude, it gets to the part. I'm like, oh my God, the dog dies. I'm like, oh my gosh, the first dog's dead. And then I'm like, and this is like, 3:00 and like the bell's going to ring at 3:50. I'm like, oh my gosh, the second dog's laying on the first dog's grave. And then the dog won't eat. And then the second dog died. I'm like, dude, I'm crying at my desk. I can hear kids weeping in my classroom, sixth graders. We're getting ready to go home on a Friday. I'm like, kids are all going to tell their parents Mr. Rallman showed a movie of two dogs dying right before we go home. I'm like, I'm so going to get fired. I'm like, I was just trying to show them a reward, to show them the movie of the book we read this week. And I'm like, I'm crying. The kids are crying. I'm like, oh my gosh. But that was like the first story, Where the Red Fern Grows. It's a great story, but I mean, oh man. But that's why I will not watch a lot of Disney. Like I've never seen Old Yeller because I don't need that kind of drama in my life. I've been scarred. Anyway, Karnak, here we got to get going on this.
Oh my goodness.
No, dude, long. I'm so sorry. If you're here for Disney, that's like, kind of. Okay, so here we go. So, okay, I got the thing on my forehead. Boom, boom, boom. It says, let me close my eyes. I'm not going to open them. I have a transportation question. I'll be visiting Walt Disney World in the very near future. I don't drive. I can't stand buses. I don't trust cabbies or Ubers. I can't ride the monorail due to my fear of heights. Did I mention I don't do boats because I'm allergic to water? How do you suggest I travel around Walt Disney World? This cracks me up.
Pixie dust.
Hot air balloon.
Let me see. Let me open the envelope. runDisney.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, now to the show. All right, this has been too long. We're talking Walt Disney World After Dark. So tips for seeing Walt Disney World after dark and things you don't want to miss when the sun goes down. And these park hours are extended over spring break and into the summer. One of the things I want to mention, of course, because the Magic Kingdom's getting a nighttime parade. Hallelujah.
Yes.
First time in forever. Speaking of another movie, we are getting a nighttime parade. We're going to have nighttime parade and fireworks this summer at the Magic Kingdom. God, it's going to be like going back to like 2003.
I know. It's going to be, this summer's going to be so good.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. I mean, and we've seen the concept art of a couple of the floats. What do we think about those? Excited?
They're fantastic. Like, I don't know that it could get much better than this. I mean, I think it's what everyone knows. And we've seen a free dining situation come out for dates this summer for Disney Visa card holders. I just think I think if you want to be there this summer, get on that. I'm going to say, don't sleep on this one.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Real quick, I mean, just while we're on this, what do we think? Because we haven't seen a nighttime parade in the Magic Kingdom for a decade. I mean, you've only seen it for the hard ticket events like, Very Merry and Not So Scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it going to be wild, Rikki? I mean, project it. I mean, because it's going to be nightly. I mean, and it's probably going to be 2 showings. I'm imagining, like an early and a late, like the old days. Would you think?
I hope, but I don't know. I mean,
I would say so. I
hope so. I think that in the beginning, it's definitely going to be one of those things where you're going to want to get your spot early for sure, because the crowds are going to be so large for that nighttime parade, because there has been this pent up demand for a parade. So you definitely want to make sure that a nighttime parade, I guess I should say. So you definitely want to make sure that, especially if you're there in the beginning, like early summer, you want to make sure you get your spot well ahead of time. I think as the summer kind of goes on, it won't be, it'll still be very popular. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it won't be, but like it won't be as popular as like it will be in the very beginning. Because like I said, in the very beginning, you got this hunger, this thirst for this parade, because we haven't had one for 10 years at least. So I do think that it's going to be nutso at first, for sure. It's going to be absolutely insane. And then as summer winds on, I think it's going to be a little more manageable. I'm not saying again that it's going to die down in any way, shape, or form, but it will be manageable. Let's put it that way. So, and I do hope we get 2 nighttime showings, but I'm worried that we're only going to get 1. So we'll see where that goes too. It'll depend on how late the park is open, to be perfectly honest. So I think
the demand I think the demand will cause them to do 2, and I think logistically they like to go out and back, and so that hopefully give us.
They do, but I mean they don't do the daytime parade out and back, so usually
they don't have to. But God, I mean, they're this is a big deal, especially with Epic opening. Hopefully they'll do 2. I mean, this is don't go halfway on this. And I mean, here's another thing too. With this, I think with parades, this is one of the things is kind of a democratized like experience, right? This gives everybody kind of a fair like opportunity to get in and like choose your level of experience without paying extra, or paying extra for like when we went out to Disneyland, we did the Main Street Electrical Parade dining package, and we had a dinner at the plaza, and then we had special seating kind of in Town Square, which was amazing because we're on a special trip, and they're going to have that this summer, I'm sure. I think they announced it actually this week, didn't they? A couple of experiences. Did they not
for Walt Disney World? That was Disneyland.
That was
Disneyland. They did.
It was Paint the Night. You're right.
Yeah,
they're going to. I mean, they have to. But I'm sure they will. But anyway, what I'm saying, even if you don't add like a dining package or a dessert party or something on to like a parade gives you the opportunity, because of the scope of a parade route, that you can't. It's just about how much you want to sacrifice, right? How much time do you want to sacrifice? You can stake out a curb and get a prime spot on Main Street, but you might have to give up 2 hours. But if you don't want to give up that 2 hours, you can still see the parade and maybe only give up 20 minutes, but you're going to be, maybe behind 2 or 3 people. I like that you can do that because it gives you options, Pam. That's what I like about a parade. Maybe you see it instead of Main Street, you see it in Liberty Square, you see it in, Frontierland, or you see it, at a, maybe not a prime spot, but a decent spot. So it gives you have tons of options with parades, is what I'm saying, especially nighttime parades.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's definitely packages for those who want that experience. And then, like you said, Mike, it's about how much time, money, and effort are you willing to invest in this process. There's lots of different ways to see it and different opportunities. I think that it's just going to be what you're willing to do, what you're able to, and how you want to see it. How important is it to you, really? And I'm looking forward to it. And I think, too, it has the potential to sort of spread those crowds out at the Magic Kingdom a little bit, I will say, because the last few times I was there, I think that in the evening you did lose some crowds. You know what I mean? That they weren't going to stay for the fireworks and whatnot. And I think when there's a parade and then fireworks, I think people are much more likely to invest that time. And maybe they head out at some point in the afternoon and make their way back. So lots of things there, lots of good things I think come with a parade. And I'm really, really looking forward to it.
I think what you're going to see, I mean, as far as trends, is you're going to see a lot of people park hopping to the Magic Kingdom at dinner time, you know, coming back to the Magic. Even if you don't have a park hopper, you're going to see people lining up, getting into the Magic Kingdom at say come 5, 6, say sunset time in the summertime, you know, like this time of year, moving on through the fall, you're going to see people, you know, once the parade starts, I want to get in and see that parade. So you're going to see people lining up to come in to make sure they can stake out their spots, and people sticking around. Like, I think you're going to see definitely increased lines for the buses at park close, because people are going to be there till park close now, because there is a huge reason, you know, you got parade and fireworks. So you will see that. I mean, that's going to be a consequence of this. There are going to be people in that park to look. I mean, that's what they're looking for. That's what they want. I mean, they're looking for people to stick around. So I think that's something. So what else are we thinking about as far as what gets better when the sun goes down and the lights come on? Rikki, you got something?
You know, I always feel like, in a way, like dining gets better as the lights come on and the parks get dark and you've got the lighting that pops up. And honestly, one of the main reasons why I feel like it gets a little bit better is because it's not as blazing hot. Usually, obviously, during the summer, it's not as blazing hot as it would be. And so it's just a little more enjoyable to maybe sit outside, grab an ice cream, or, you know, grab a snack or grab dinner or whatever, and sit outside and just enjoy it. Because, you know, we live in spots, most of us, where it's very cold a lot of times, and getting to sit outside and enjoy that is nice. And so when you actually have an opportunity to have a nice meal outside, I feel like just dining in general is so much better at night at Walt Disney World. It's much more enjoyable. So grabbing a snack is always one of the things that I end up doing at night. Is, you know, whether it's corn dog nuggets from Casey's, or a Dole Whip, or a Mickey ice cream bar, or, you know, whatever, popcorn even. It's always better at night, in my opinion. So that's kind of where I am.
And I'll add to that, you know, even sit down places that I enjoy eating after dark, sit down, like the Boathouse at Disney Springs. Olivia's on the patio at night is wonderful when it especially in the summertime. Polite Pig even at night at Disney Springs for like a little counter service place, as kind of people are hustling and bustling by. Pam, do you have any other places like you got to eat outside when it's dark? Paddlefish might be another place.
I was going to say, any place you get to eat outside that's dark is awesome. There are some places at Trattoria El Forno over at the boardwalk.
Yes.
And there's not that many tables that are outside, but there are some. And so I think that's worth checking out. You can do Beaches and Cream. You can do window ordering and have a seat outside there. At Three Bridges, of course, over at Coronado, you're going to be able to eat there outside all the time. And when that twilight time is just awesome. It's such a great time to be out there. Of course, if you go up to Dahlia's at Coronado, you can also eat out. They have an outdoor location there as well. At the new Wailulu Lounge at Disney's Polynesian Resort, there are outdoor locations there as well. In addition, you can do Captain Cook's outside right there. And of course, the eating area there at the Quiet Pool at the Polynesian is outside all the time too.
Captain Cook's is always so fun because you've got the tiki torches going, and, you know, it's just it adds so much to the atmosphere too. Like, that's always one of my favorite places to go. 100%.
Yeah, it does. And you also have the outside part of Trader Sam's there too, so you can do that as well. I think there's just so many. You know, we all talk about it because we're from locations oftentimes where you don't get to eat outside as often as you would like to. And it's always a treat when you get to do it when you're at Walt Disney World, for sure.
Yeah, I'm jealous because Scott's got like LS Teca in his town, but he has like a rooftop outside dining option at his, and we don't. Like, ours is just in a strip mall. Which we got great food, but I wish we could eat outside on nice days, which we don't have.
Yeah, right.
So when we get a chance at Walt Disney World, I love that. I love that little at Olivia's little outdoor patio. It's so great. All right, Pam, what else night at Walt Disney World do we need to consider to make our vacations better?
So I was thinking about this because we are often, there at this time of night and trying to figure out what to do. And I will say, one of my favorite things to do at any location is walk around the resort. And in that evening time, it's awesome. We did it the last time when we were staying at the boardwalk. So if you're staying in the Epcot resort area, of course, you can walk that loop around the boardwalk and the yacht club and the beach club, and you walk through the boardwalk area. And that's really just so fun to do. But now one of the fun things is if you're staying in the Magic Kingdom area, there's also a great walk now that you can do when you're, it goes from the Magic Kingdom over to the Grand Floridian, then from the Grand Floridian over to the Polynesian, and it sort of ends up right there at the TTC. I think that's such a fantastic walk as well. But every resort has lots of great spaces. I mean, there's the running trails at most of the resorts, and of course, running/walking, but you can always walk through the resort. And there's something about that twilight time that is just really special. I think you get to see like tired folks coming out of the parks, but then you get to see sort of the nighttime activities happening, right? There's going to be the marshmallow roasting and the campfire, and then there's going to be movie under the stars and all of that. So just lots of great stuff always happening around the resort, and that nighttime twilight time is like the perfect place to go and look at that.
And that's what I was going to mention too, was at your resort in the evenings, you'll have things like Movie Under the Stars, but before it gets completely dark, you have that golden hour, excuse me, to take pictures. And the resort is so beautiful. And I think a lot of times, especially in those, if you're staying like say in the ranchos at Coronado or, whatever, where say you have a car or you get off your bus stop and you just walk in from the parking lot to your one building, but you don't take advantage of kind of strolling through your entire resort and seeing the entirety of your resort. You need to walk around one night, your resort at that golden hour, like at sunset time, and have your camera ready, because most of these resorts have like a lagoon or a lake or something in the middle with a bridge, and like a Caribbean beach, you have the Skyliners with the different colors going across, and the Riviera is beautiful in the background, and Pop Century just has the different vibrant colors. Every resort is so photographic in its own way. Do a photography stroll. I mean, because you can get creative and just, put some kind of over at Coronado, they have these orange flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers they are, but they're these, I call them like the Coronado flower. I don't know what they are, but they're very distinctive. And I'll focus kind of the orange flower in the front and kind of have the buildings kind of way in the background across the water. And I just, maybe nobody else likes that picture, but I love that picture. It's the essence of Coronado, because it's got that bright orange flower, which I love those flowers, and, just the distinctive building looking. And I just like to take pictures, because pictures are free souvenirs. You don't have to spend money on them, but they take me, 6 months later, that'll pop up in my Google Photos memory right there on my home screen of my phone. And I could be having a rough day, but when that picture pops up of a golden hour shot, it's like, oh, that's where I need to be right now. It just makes me happy, and it's free, and you just get to get creative, and it's fun, and it's relaxing. So golden hour photos. Another thing I want to throw in too was, over at Riverside, they have those horse-drawn carriage rides, which at night clomping around, those paths at Riverside with all the trees, magnolias and stuff. It's wonderful. So don't sleep on those. That might be something you want to try. All right, Rikki, what else you got? Are you trying to hop in here?
Yeah, don't miss out on the photos and the parks too. I mean, nighttime, it brings out all the unique lighting. And I think that's one of the other things I love so much about night at Walt Disney World is to get to, during the day, it's beautiful, but nighttime, it's even more magical if it really could be, because the way that things are lit and it's so gorgeous. So don't sleep on the parks at night too. I mean, it's one of my favorite times to go take pictures in the parks is at night when it's completely pitch black and you just got the lights on everywhere. I mean, that is simply stunning. So you don't want to miss that. But obviously one of the things that I enjoy is the fact that we did talk about that a lot of times after dinner and stuff like that, or the fireworks, people do leave. And if you can stick around, and you want to hang, stay until park closing, because the parks.
Because you're like 98% of the way there, dude. That extra it's so magical, right?
It is.
You're gonna be in a line anyway, dude. Enjoy it. Just get in.
Exactly.
It is so great to be there till park closes. You're exactly right on that.
It's 100% right. Like, I mean, everybody, makes fun of the fact that I don't go to rope drop, but I go to rope closing, if that's how we want to put it, because I love being able to be in the parks when everything is closing down and, you're getting on the attractions. And before, as everybody else is leaving the park, you're heading to the attractions. And it's some of the best times because they do slow down at that point. They do get a little more manageable, especially for the bigger attractions like, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Tron or Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever. Those attractions are getting a little more manageable. And I know it doesn't say it, on the app. It'll still say that it's a really long wait, but get in line. I promise you, they're gonna let you ride it, and it will probably be a lot shorter than what the wait time is saying. They're just trying to dissuade people from getting in line, of course. But it's seriously the best time, and Brian and I will run from one side of the park to the other side of the park to try to make it onto an attraction before the park closes. And it's seriously, it's the best time because everybody else is leaving and you are just hanging out and having a good time. Now, don't be rude. Don't try to be like, I'm going to stay in the park until they kick me out. Like, don't do that.
Don't hide in the bushes.
Exactly. Don't hide in the bushes. But enjoy your time in the park. Slowly make your way out. And some of the best times I've had is after not Illuminations now, but that's where my brain went. After the fireworks at Epcot, and Luminous, yes. I was like, gosh, I'm blanking so hard. And walking the path back, I'll say maybe I will have saw the show in Germany or whatever, and I'll go the long way around so that I get to enjoy that atmosphere of Epcot still. The torches are still lit and it's just beautiful and peaceful. And it's a great time. Plus it allows for the buses and the monorails and stuff like that to kind of clear out a little bit too, which is another reason why I kind of hang out a little bit after, the park closes, just to kind of let everybody else fight their way to the exit and the way out of the parking lot and stuff like that, and then I can go in after. And
that's allowed. You just say I'm geographically challenged, and
exactly.
say, I thought that I should have gone left instead of right.
Exactly, unless they stop you and tell you to go the other way. I mean,
well then you say okay, well thank you.
Whoopsies. Yeah,
like I'm Dora the Explorer, and I couldn't find my map.
Yeah.
I'm the map. Remember those days? Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Pam Forrester, what else is better after dark at Walt Disney World?
So I think a lot of your transportation options are actually better at dark. So think about the bus that takes you from certain resorts to Disney Springs, right? That is so nice in the evening. And there's just something about it. It feels like more romantic, more cozy. It's just, it's just a fun experience. And you get to go past, different resorts on your way oftentimes. And I think that's always kind of a cool thing to see those resorts lit up, like from the water. But then also the Skyliner, I think is really cool at night, especially when you're taking, I think the loop that goes into Epcot. I really like that loop at night. It takes you on lots of different areas sort of around the parks, but that's a great one too. And even the monorail is kind of fun at night, just to be able to do that. I think that Epcot loop at night then sort of takes you into Epcot. If you're taking it from the TTC over, you get to do that. Just lots of great things about transportation in the evenings.
I will say, speaking of that, so when we used to say, I remember we were at Riverside one year and we would ride that bus back to Riverside every day after we'd stay out late. And Riverside had this, when you went back at night, now they didn't, obviously, because when you go in the morning, right, it plays the music towards, whatever park you're going to. So it plays like a Magic Kingdom loop going to the Magic Kingdom, or, music to the studios, movie stuff. when you're going back to Riverside, and I don't know if it was just at night. I think it's all day, but it hits you harder, 11 o'clock at night when you're exhausted. It was just like kind of like a slow banjo and like crickets. It was like, like crickets in like the slow banjo, like a dink, a dink, a dink. Not, not like those kind of like Kermit playing, the beginning of Somewhere Over the Rainbow or whatever, or Rainbow Connection, but it wasn't that. But it was just like, it was so soothing that everybody on the bus was just like, I mean, it put me to sleep like in 10 seconds. It was so peaceful because all you heard was like, oh, like if fireflies could make noise and like crickets. It was like what I play on my Echo every night right by my bedstand to go to sleep. Like I tell it to play, background noise, and it plays almost exactly what that bus plays, and it just knocks me out. But it's exactly that, right? I mean, at night it played that, and like, but then, the worst part of riding the bus at night, right, is when you get back to your, like, they hit where it stopped too, and then boom, they turn on those 1,000 megawatt lights, and everybody's like, dude, I'm blind. What are you doing?
It's true. It is dude, so true.
My pupils, I'll never see again. It's crazy. Oh my gosh, they do. It's the worst. I mean, we complain about the worst things. Okay, so one other thing I want to throw in here, because we're getting kind of the end of the show here. Water rides, specifically at night, right before park closing, like in the last hour, kind of Rikki was mentioning about, stay until the end, do it. But I mean, during that time, the water rides, a lot of people just bail on those. Like they'll be on the roller coasters a lot. The roller coasters get a lot of the love in that last hour, like Space Mountain, Tron, the kind of stuff like that. Seven Dwarfs, even the Fantasyland stuff gets some love, especially like Haunted Mansion gets a lot of love in that time at the Magic Kingdom. But if you want to get on the water rides, one, just the lines are shorter, because a lot of people think of the water rides as like, I'm going to ride it at like 3 p.m. when it's the hottest, because it kind of makes sense, right? Because you're going to get wet.
Yeah.
But also, you're going to be going back to your hotel and getting out of those clothes anyway. You're going to be putting on your jams. So just ride it out, man. And, back in the day, like on Splash, they would let you almost stay on it. Like, I mean, that's how awesome. Like I have memories of like late at night, like at Extra Magic. This is how old I am. Again, old. But like, we'd stay till 3 a.m. for those 3 extra hours at night at the Magic Kingdom. They'd let you stay on it. And like, we'd ride it 3 or 4 times in a row and just be like, re-ride, let's go. And just, who cared? It was July. It was 100 degrees at, 2 o'clock in the morning. It felt like it didn't care. Humidity. Is this my sweat or is it me getting wet? I don't know. It's the same thing. It's just other people's sweat. Who cares? It was fun. So water rides, I say, ride them out, at night. You just can't think about the water. The water, it's a combination of a bunch of stuff. It's just magic juice. It's fun juice. All right. That's my last one. Rikki, you got anything else for the cause? Sure. It's just magic juice.
Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna just sidestep everything on that one.
There's a lot of things in life.
Stop. Time out. Stop. Okay, so I'm gonna say, actually, to me, and I know that a lot of people probably agree with me, but a lot of people also probably disagree with this statement, and the reason is because of crowds. But I'm going to say Disney Springs is actually better at night.
No.
I know. See, I told you. A lot of people are going to disagree with me because it is distinctly more crowded. I will fully admit that it is super crowded at night.
An insane asylum at night, dude. That is my worst nightmare.
But honestly, the people watching at Disney Springs at that time of night is just fantastic.
So like, I'm there. That'd be Mike Rahman going to jail.
I'm there for the people watching. And again, the fact that it's not blazes hot, and I can still do some shopping if I want to. I can still grab a treat. I can, if I'm hungry, I can grab a snack or whatever. But like, seriously, Disney Springs at night is my favorite time. I most of the time go during the day now because just how my trips work out, but like nighttime is one of my favorite times to go to Disney Springs. And I know I'm nuts, but there's something about the atmosphere that just I love. It's just the chaos, which is ironic because I hate being in the middle of chaos usually. So
I've been there at night where I've been on the west side, right over by like the M&M place and all that jazz, and it's so busy that like I had to time it to like get in the flow to go upstream.
Yeah, oh no, I've been there.
I've
been there. I have.
Like a video game. Like it was like playing Frogger, right? So I had to like time it to like jump in between two people and like, okay, I had to go upstream for like a little bit, and then I had to kind of merge.
I've totally been there. Then you gotta turn
Go
around.
back downstream to get where I'm going.
Yeah,
It was like worse than I-4. It was crazy.
I've been there.
I'm out.
I've been there.
I'm done.
Just grab a table at one of the counter service restaurants, grab yourself a snack, and just sit and people watch. That's the best part. I
hate shopping so much.
I'm not shopping. I'm grabbing a snack and people watching.
I don't need all that. I don't need all that noise. I don't care if it's.
I told you I have a lot of people who say I was wrong about that one.
Dude, the same M&Ms are at Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
I'm not going for the M&M store.
Pam, get us out of here. What do you got?
All right. So my last one is what's better at night is your pool, your resort.
Oh, yes.
Pool.
Oh my God, you're channeling.
How did I not think of that?
I know, right? Night swimming, though. There's really something about the pool at night. First of all, there's something magical about swimming at night. Just period. Yes. End of story. I don't know why. It just like says vacation.
Yes.
It's like, because that's where you tend to do it, like at night, is on vacation. But then it's just fun. Like there's not as many people at all. It's, one of the least crowded times you're going to be there. You can goof around. If you just feel like you can goof around a little more, just enjoy the pool and just enjoy, being on vacation. The fact that you get to be there doing stuff and you don't have to worry about anything else.
Nothing is better than a hot tub at night after a Disney, like walking around the Disney parks. Mm-hmm. Nothing is better than putting your feet in that hot tub or soaking your entire body and being like,
yes, and the magic juice.
No, stop.
Oh my gosh.
I thought I sidestepped us from that. No.
No, that's the kiddie pool on Disney Cruise Line.
No.
That is true. Yes. Very, very true.
Oh my God.
I think one of our listeners
will never get in one of those
recently called it Kid Stew.
No. Lucy's never getting in one of those. We'll just play in the water spray areas and hope for the best. Oh. No, thank you.
Again, don't think too hard.
I know.
That's key to getting through life with a lot of
It is the key of getting through life with that kind of stuff.
I got on an airplane again. I was just sit down and have a margarita and just 2.5 hours to be there. Yep. This big old thing can fly. Doesn't make sense, but it flies and we'll get there. It'll be fine. Anyway, that's kind of fun. Disney After Dark. There we go. That was fun. I like it. I'm ready to go to Walt. I'm ready for this summer. I'm excited.
I know, right? Yeah. I am too. I'm really ready for the summer.
Going to be fun. So, hey, that's it. But hey, we want to get you there, and the Magic for Less can help you do that. How's that getting right into the ad read at the end of the show? So check it out. Just swing by the website today. Great offers out there. You can get even a free dining package with the Disney Visa and other folks here very soon. Actually, by the time the show comes out, it may be happening for everybody. Who knows? Just check out all the details. We always have it at the Magic for Less. That's kind of a key. If you're not sure what's going on with discounts, first place you need to go, themagicforless.com. It's all there on the page, and you can fill out the quote form while you're there, and an agent will get back to you lickety split. I just want to say that word, lickety split. Our agents work. We got to be able to be on call, lickety split. That's what we do. And we'll get you the numbers and the availability and talk to you about it, and it's so much fun. So check it out today. Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Disney Cruise, even Adventures by Disney, all the locations you want to go, we are going to help you for no additional cost. It's amazing. So check out all the details today, again, over at themagicforless.com. Please also use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. You do that shopping. It supports the show. Win-win for everybody. So please use that link as often as you can. And also, please become a patron of the show. Thank you to everybody who has already. Our patrons are all-stars. You make the show possible. Huge thank you to each and every one of you. $5 a month is all it costs. Come over to patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. And when you do, you get a bonus show every week called Mike in the Midwest. And it's a bunch of nonsense like we've been talking about today. Stories like when I show where the red fern grows and just probably traumatize kids. And they're probably still not watching movies about dogs. And neither am I. I mean, I did it to myself. I still cannot watch that kind of stuff. So that's what you get for $5 a month. It's crazy. Anyway, we're on the social media. Be Our Guest Mike is where you'll find me. Ricky Nibs is where you'll find Ricky. Pam's at TMFLT Pam, Instagram, Twitter, and Threads. And we'll have a live show this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We could talk about Disney after dark. We could talk about anything you want in the Disney universe. It's a lot of fun. We open up the phone lines. Maybe we'll give Scotty G a call out in Hawaii one more time, see what he's up to. But join us, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch, and be there 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. And until then, 24/7, we're in the Clubhouse. It's our Discord channel. Everybody's welcome, free to everybody. Come on over, beourguestpodcast.com/clubhouse. All right, till we get back together again on Sunday night. Hope you guys have a great weekend. So for Rikki and Pam, I'm Mike, wishing you a fun one. So have a great Friday, everybody. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. That was good. I don't know where I went with that dog story, but dude, that was honest to God true, because I remember I heard kids, and I was like, dude, the dog's gonna die, dude. I was crying. I'm like, I cannot stand seeing dogs in pain.
No.
Oh my God, the dog's dying. I was like, this.
Oh no.
I went next door to Pam. I'm like, Pam, dude, the dog dies. She's like, for real? I'm like, for real, dude. She's like, I was gonna show that movie. I'm like, you are not showing that movie.
Do not show that movie.
Now that's why they have resources for this now.
Exactly.
You can look up the movies.
Well,
Yes.
so this was like in 2000. This is like a long time ago. I mean,
Do not show the movie.
Tired. I'm like, these kids are gonna go home. It's like Mr. Rallman showed a dog dying movie on like. It was supposed to be a celebration. Like, I think I even
But
gave
here's the thing: they allow the kids to read the book. So, like, I guess
read the whole book. Like,
that's true.
hang on,
Yeah,
hang
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Real quick, because I know you guys got to go, and I got to go. Hang on.
Where's he going? Where he just left.
Went on eBay
Oh,
about a month ago and bought a copy of the kids' version of the book that we taught from.
Oh my gosh.
I found this on eBay. This was the book. It's called Signatures, and I bought it on eBay. And
why did you buy this?
Because this is the book that Pam and I taught 6th grade out of for years.
Oh.
So I wanted a copy, and here it is, boo. The very first story of the.
So they just cut the end of the book off?
They take a section of like a novel, and so you read a part of it.
Well, then what's the point?
But see, it's so that the kids can go read the whole novel.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how in our reading book, that's how I first read the Chronicles of Narnia.
really?
There was
Interesting.
an excerpt
We did-
from the
I
line
did
that was in
not-
the wardrobe.
We did not
Yeah,
have
we read
that
part of
when
it.
I was in school or at my school.
You do a little study, you learn a little bit about the author, and all these, like, you had 6 stories per like theme. There was like a theme, but it didn't get to the part where the dogs died.
Oh my God.
I'm like, damn.
Oh my God. No.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Oh,
there's that.
dude, I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was like, because I am, I love Riley and I love dogs. That dog, I was like, that dog is gonna die, and it died. And then the second dog, because there's like a sister dog, just laid on the dog's grave because they buried the first dog.
Yeah.
And the dog lays on the grave and will not eat, and finally dies of starvation. I was like, dude, this is like killing me. Like, it's just twice. It's like not once, but dude, 2 times. I'm like, I cannot be doing this. I can't take it. This is the worst. I am so dumb. And it was the first story. This is like in September. This is like in August. I'm like, this is gonna be a long school year.
These kids are never gonna trust me again.
I read every story and like everything the rest of the year. I did not play that game. I'm like, they're not gonna sneak up on me on that. All right, I'll let you guys go.
All right.
I'll see you later.
All right, we'll see y'all.
I will not be here next Monday.
Okay, will you, Pam?
Yes.
Scott won't. Okay, good. So we can do them earlier then, probably.
All right. Okay.
I'll talk to you guys later. All right.
All right.
All right, bye.